Thank you. My name is Makena Phillips, and I am a living, breathing demonstration for the Better Business Breakfast. I love the BBB. It is the place where I really began my spiritual journey. So what it's done for me is it's really transformed me, the life of my business, and the people that I do business with. And so I am truly, truly grateful to that ministry. But that's not where I started. Where I started was, what brought me to CSL, was sitting in a 12-step fellowship. And what I noticed was the people that were there that had that twinkle in their eye, that seemed to be able to weather the storms of life, were the people that had a really strong spiritual grounding, a really strong spiritual program. And so I came to CSL and seeking that, and I've gotten so much more. So I started going to the BBB, and because one of the things that was running me was this belief that I was flawed, that I was a mistake, that there was something wrong with me. And my business felt like a mess as well. So when I heard about the BBB, I showed up. And this is how Spirit works in my life. But I brought that brokenness and that unknowingness and that gobbledygook that was in my head, and I just brought it all to the BBB. And the first lesson was that Reverend Sharon was talking about was I didn't need to know how to do anything, because God knows how to do everything. And that was so cool. So give her a hand. That was awesome. Because what that really did was, I didn't know it at the time, but it planted a seed that changed my relationship with God. And so I kept coming, and I kept showing up, and kept going to not only the BBB, but afterwards they have a workshop. And I would go and I worked on my consciousness, and I just kept showing up. And Reverend Sharon just kept telling me that, anything I was worried about, that's God's job. That my job was just to love and just to have fun. I love my job. I love how this partnership works. So that after that first year, my business had grown 15%. And the second year, I took a class called God is Your Business Partner by Mae McCarthy, CSO, your Chief Spiritual Officer. And what that class gave me was a daily practice that made sense. It taught me that my first meeting of every day is with Spirit, and that I work with Spirit just like I would work with any other coworker in my business. We just sit down together and we decide what needs to get done. And again, my job is to just love and have fun. And Spirit gets to do everything else. So that is really cool. And I put Spirit in charge of my finances right off, because I still believe in lack and limitation, and Spirit is abundant, so I put Spirit in charge of finances. So if anytime that there's a financial issue in my business, I don't have a problem. God has a problem. So I love that. And so I kept showing up, and that second year my business grew 26%, which is really cool. Last year I went to Inward Journey with Kathy Ann, and my business started growing even further and further as I did my work. It was 38%. And as we showed up at the Mystic Mind Retreat in March, we transformed my relationship with Spirit even further, where it became much more intimate. Kathy Ann had us court God, like our lover, like a partner. And so I went from this working relationship with God to an intimate relationship with God. And you know how you're in love and you just, everything you see reminds you of that person, and everything you hear reminds you? That started happening with my relationship with God, and that transformed me. And out of the Mystic Mind, I just focused just on that relationship. I didn't even focus anything on my business. And since that time, we've grown 71%. So I just, thank you. But even more than that, that piece of me that felt broken, that felt like there was something flawed or something wrong, that's been healed. It still whispers sometimes, but it's been lifted. And so I know that if, if there's people here that feel that way, I'm so glad you're here. And what I know is that you're not alone, and that there's a divine intelligence working in you now. Even if you don't have faith in yourself, there's an intelligence working in you because it brought you here. So I am so grateful. Thank you.